If you have over $200,000 sitting stagnant in your bank, retirement account, or home equity, then you're literally losing money. On this show, you learn how to get that money working for you consistently and conservatively. Learn to grow your nest egg with your host, Sean Winslow. Let's dive in.
What's going on, everyone? I'm Sean Winslow. Welcome to my show. This is the Multifamily Money Podcast. And on today's Finance Fridays episode, this is part 5 of the 6-part series on financial freedom. But before I get into that, I just want to do a little housekeeping here. I want to talk about a review that was left on Apple Podcast by a Michael.Fin764 titled "Interesting!" This show is new and it already catches my attention. So much quality content. I love the 6-part series about financial freedom. Highly recommend. Awesome job, Sean. Thank you, Michael. And we're almost done with this 6-part series on part 5 here of our series on financial freedom, how to set up your life to achieve financial freedom. And today's part 5 is called Pay Yourself First. And it's exactly as it sounds. Pay yourself first. And we're not taught to do that. I was never taught to do that. I was taught, money comes in. Yeah, you need to save some. But the first thing you do is, you take care of your expenses because you don't want to rack up debt, which is smart. You don't want to rack up debt. But that's not the way that you should be doing. That's not the way successful, financially sound individuals do that. What they do is they pay themselves first. If you've ever read the book, The Richest Man in Babylon, this is one of the key principles in the book. This is a book that's been around for, over 100 years. And many successful people have read it and attribute some part of their success to it. And I highly recommend that if you haven't read this book, you should. And I'll put a link in the show notes for you to check that out. But in The Richest Man in Babylon, that key principle, paying yourself first, the author puts a number, a percentage to that any income coming in. So that's from, in today's day and age, that's from your W-2 9-to-5 job, could be from some passive income, maybe from real estate, or maybe you're invested in a business, whatever your source of income is, to take 10% of that right from the start and pay yourself first. And now, before I get more into it of, how you should set that up, what you should do with that money, first, let's get into why you would ever want to do that. Why pay yourself first? Why not just take money first, pay the expenses you have, and then whatever is left over is what you get to keep? The reason for that is because that leads to trouble. Unless you're a very disciplined individual that doesn't need instant gratification and can control their expenses, can control that need for instant gratification, buying luxury items, going on trips, going out to dinner more than they should. If you're not that type of person, then good for you. If you have that discipline to stay away from that. Most people don't. And that's why even our country is over, what is it at? I don't even know. Close to 30 trillion in debt at this point. There's a lot of people with, credit card debt. That's obviously something you don't want. And that's because they don't set their finances up this way. They set it up so money comes in, they pay their expenses, and if anything's left over, they keep it. More often than not, nothing's left over. They're just living paycheck to paycheck, paying their expenses, and even in the worst situations, building up debt, racking up credit card debt, which is the worst debt you can have, paying upwards of 20-25% interest. That's just not smart, and it's only going to hurt you in the long run and dig you a deep hole to get out of. So the reason why you want to pay yourself first is because you take that money, set it aside, and then whatever is left, you pay your expenses. What it's going to do is it's going to allow you to see how much you actually have and what you can afford for expenses per month. Because in anything in life, you need to track it. Anytime you want to better yourself, improve yourself, grow, you need to track so you can analyze and see where you need to improve, and then implement that to improve. And so what you're going to do here is you're going to take that money, put it aside, and then whatever is left is what you can use to expense. But Sean, what if I have credit card debt or student loan debt that I need to pay off? Well, you need to budget yourself. And yes, you might not be able to pay off your entire credit card debt in one whack, but what it's going to force you to do is it's going to force you to live within your means while you're paying it down. And then you're going to build that confidence and build that discipline. No, I don't need that. I need to pay off my debt first before I just spend it on needless material items. And so now the question is like, what's the number? And that obviously depends on your situation. In the richest man in Babylon, it's 10%. But if you are someone who has credit card debt and is not in the best financial position, I would recommend anywhere from 3 to 5%. So your check comes in, and you can have, if you're have a 9 to 5 W-2 job, you can have your employer set it up to take a certain allocation out of your paycheck every time and send it to different account. So that 3 to 5% will go into that separate account. And if you are really bad at your finances and really not disciplined in spending money, I would highly recommend you open it at a different bank than where your current checking is, and open it up so you don't have online access, don't have transfer capabilities, and you don't have a debit card. So that in order to get the money, you physically have to go to that bank, and do it at a bank that doesn't have a lot of locations, that the location is not near you. So it just makes it even harder for you to try to get the money out. Now, that's only if you do not have the discipline. But if you do have some discipline, set it up at the same bank, and every time you get paid, that percentage goes into that account. The remaining percentage goes into your regular checking account. And then if you really want to get ninja at this, you should create more accounts, separate them by investments, which we'll get to later, but paying yourself first should also be investing. You set up into investments, retirement, fun. So, if you want to travel, or if you date night or night out with the friends, maybe you want to save up for a house, you could have a house checking. Maybe you want to save up for a car, you could have that as well. What this is going to do is it's going to structure your life. So you're going to be able to visually see how much money you have in every account, what you can spend, how much more you need to save for those accounts that you're trying to save up for something. And this is just going to condition your mindset to always be checking, know what you have, what you can afford. Because if you just live like paycheck comes into one account, pay your expenses first, whatever you have left is what you can go spend on everything else or save. And doing it that way, you're not going to be able to structure your life to save for the future, because you're just going to keep buying stuff and the money comes in, you're just going to pay those expenses. And if you don't have the rest, any more money to pay, you're just going to rack up more and more debt. So this is to condition your brain to be looking at those accounts and know what you have. Now, if you do have or are in a good financial space, I would use 10% to start off. Just like in anything, you don't want to, go hot out of the gate, because that can, burn you out and just deter you, because it'll be a big lifestyle change to do that. So start slow. Like 10% should not be that bad. If you're bringing in $5,000 a month and after tax, that's $500 a month that you'll put into pay yourself first account. And then as time grows, you should try to hit the 20% mark, just because the power of compounding. As Warren Buffett says, compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. And I can't disagree. So the more you can pay yourself and then invest, the more it's going to add up over time. So, and if you are really disciplined, really want to save more, there's people that, save anywhere from 40 to 50%. They pay themselves 40 to 50% first. Obviously, that's going to take some time. And what I recommend doing as you get promotions, as you get pay increases, as you start creating other sources of income, instead of doing the lifestyle creep, do the savings creep, do the pay yourself first creep. So as you make more, pay yourself more first and stack it into that account. And what you do is you save money in that pay yourself first account. And then you're going to want to develop a plan of investment. So whatever it is, if it's in real estate, if it's in stocks, it's in cryptocurrency, whatever it may be, have that game plan set up. And then once you have accumulated enough in that pay yourself first bucket, put it into that investment. Go buy that rental property. Go invest it passively in a real estate syndication. Go buy stocks. Go buy bonds. Invest in cryptocurrency. And then start and then the process keep going. So then that pay yourself first account is going to continue to fill up. And you're just going to rinse and repeat, do the process over and over again. It's that simple. And I would recommend also, if you have a business, this is smart too, because then you can take the tax advantage, or if you have real estate, you can take the tax advantage. So as you're getting the cash flow, the depreciation offsets, the tax, put that into your pay yourself first account, and then go buy more. Go buy more. A compounding effect over time. If you buy right, it's easy to find 10% cash on cash return in real estate. Think what you can do with 10% cash on cash return for an extended period of time. It'll change your life. So it's really simple. It's not easy. Simple, but not easy. It takes discipline. This is honestly probably one of the most important things you can do for your financial future. It's just going to structure your life to succeed. So when it comes down to it, like I've mentioned in a lot of these shows, that money is just a tool. It's a tool that we can use to do great things in this world. To give back, to help those in need, to take care of our families, take care of our friends, or just anyone in need. And so I urge you all, if you don't do this, please start it now. So you can improve your financial situation, your family's financial situation, and then you can help others in this world. So pay yourself first, put it in an account, so then you can go invest and improve the world. And that leads us to the final part 6 of this financial freedom series, which will be in a week. I can't wait to get into it with you all. Take care. I'll catch you on the next one.
Hey, this is Sean Winslow. After being in the financial service industry for years and having candid conversations with good people just like you, I realized that so many of us are wanting an investment strategy that provides solid returns and consistent income without the bumps in the road. There's little known secret that your financial advisor doesn't want you to know. There is an investment out there that is less volatile and the returns are stronger. Get more details by going to greenbriercg.com and clicking on the free e-report. And by the way, if this show has provided you any value, then feel free to leave an honest written review and of course share it with a friend who needs it. See you next week for another great show.